LeBron James, the most powerful man in all of sports. Is that hyperbole? Maybe to a certain extent, but I really do think that he is, or at least can make a very good case for being the most powerful sports figure of the modern era. LeBron James is not the most recognizable figure in all of sports, although he's up there. That award should probably go to the Messis, Ronaldos, MJs, and Roger Federers of the world. However, his power and his influence since he came into the league, hell, since before he came into the league, is incredible. And the fascinating part, it's only continuing to grow. We all heard the news today that LeBron James is now a part owner of the Boston Red Sox, along with his longtime friend and business partner, Maverick Carter. It does kind of blow my mind that he's a part owner of a Boston sports team, considering his career-long rivalry with the Boston Celtics. But it doesn't necessarily surprise me that he's owning professional sports teams now. He's been a minority owner of the football, or soccer as us Americans call it, of the soccer club Liverpool as of 2011, and he has for a while now talked about how he eventually wants to own an NBA team. I'd say he definitely has the capital to do so, but all in due time. Whether he eventually buys the Cleveland Cavaliers from Dan Gilbert, which would be both mind-blowing and kinda hilarious, or some other NBA team, ownership seems inevitable. However, that's just the tip of the iceberg with how powerful he is and can be. Let's go through a few examples. LeBron's influence on superstars deciding their own fate in the NBA is unquestionable. Did he start the super team era? We can go back and forth on that, but in my opinion, no. The Miami Heat were not the first super team ever, and LeBron isn't the first superstar to recruit players, but the scale at which he's done it is undeniable. LeBron, facing the constant noise of not winning a championship, decided to take matters into his own hands and team up with other great players. And then a few years down the line happened the Warriors with Kevin Durant, and then the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George, and now the Nets with KD, Kyrie, Harden, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, your mama, your grandmama, seemingly everybody. LeBron's influence on the absolute arms race of amassing talent in the league is something we've never seen before, and something I don't think will ever be reversed. Secondly, what LeBron James is doing with his sports agency, Clutch Sports, is also unprecedented. Now, LeBron doesn't technically own any stake in Clutch Sports, as that would be a conflict of interest, wink wink, but come on, let's be real, he might as well own Clutch Sports. The sheer fact that he is represented by Clutch is a massive reason why so many amazing players, both young and established, like Anthony Davis, like John Wall, Ben Simmons, Yusuf Nurkic, Trae Young, why all these players decide to join Clutch Sports. But is it just LeBron's greatness that draws them to Clutch? I mean, part of it is just how damn good Rich Paul, who is the founder of Clutch Sports, how good he is at getting players amazing deals. I mean, come on, 3 years and $40 million for KCP? But the other part is just how players gravitate towards LeBron, his talent, but also his charisma, and his friendliness, as simple and juvenile as that sounds. One of the things LeBron always got flack for in his career is being too jovial and friendly with the competition. Guys like Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, who used to golf and party with each other and gamble, they were fierce on-court rivals, but they would criticize him for being too buddy-buddy and therefore diminishing the level of competition in the NBA. But I would say LeBron is just a different kind of competitor. The kind that plays mind games and the kind that thinks several steps ahead of everyone else. He's not just looking at other players as competition on the court. He's looking at them as potential partners. It's in his and Clutch Sports' best interest to be in good standing with all of these great players. Not suggesting it's only a selfish reason and he's only friendly with these guys because he wants something in return, because we know for damn sure he doesn't need it. Just saying it definitely helps with whatever master plan he's got going on. There has never been a sports agency like this in any professional sport, at least not that I can think of, that has had the amount of influence, the amount of pull, and the roster that Clutch Sports has. You can create a dream team with the roster that Clutch Sports has assembled over the years. And the influence that they have in the league is so obvious. You got rival GMs, organizations, team execs, and even some players complaining that it's blatant tampering what they're doing. The other example of how he is so powerful is that LeBron, he ain't just a king. He's not just a chosen one or the pride of Akron. He's also, as Chris Smoove would say, le GM. And it's been a running gag since his Miami days, where he's pretty much the de facto GM for all his teams. The Cavs in his second stint, and then the Lakers right now. LeBron acts like he doesn't have any sort of power there in the front office, but although he does let out Freudian slips sometimes, but he knows damn well he is the GM. Nothing can happen in any organization, even one as reputable and as established as the Los Angeles Lakers. Nothing can happen without consulting with him and getting his say-so first. LeBron wanted K-Love in Cleveland, and what happened? Bye-bye Anthony Bennett and bye-bye Andrew Wiggins. He wanted J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert in Cleveland. See ya, Dion Waiters. He wanted Anthony Davis in LA. Sorry, LA. I know you had your amazing young core with Lonzo, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and Randall, but as Michael Jordan would say, them kids, trade them all for Anthony Davis. Everyone knows LeBron is the GM. He calls the shots. Some people even say that he's the coach on the floor. It causes a lot of salt, especially with people who either hate LeBron or especially if you're a player that he's traded. But nobody can stop it. When you're that good, you do whatever the hell you want. But those are just his on the court escapades. On top of that, off the court, he's not only a movie star. I mean, let's be real. There really was only one worthy successor to star in Space Jam 2. And he's just made for Hollywood, his box office, but it's also the off-the-court work he does. Building schools, sending kids to college, taking care of inner city, less privileged children in Ohio, but above everything else, his ever-present voice on current social issues is perhaps his greatest legacy ever. LeBron James is following the path paved by previous male athletes like Muhammad Ali, Jesse Owens, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the great Bill Russell. Make no mistake, nobody can ever replicate what they accomplished. But LeBron is doing a damn good job of trying. He is the biggest voice for social justice in all of sports. It's arguable that he has the biggest voice in sports ever, considering he has access to social media and technologies that these other historical figures simply didn't have. A lot of people love what he has to say. A lot of people hate what he has to say. Some people tell him to keep up the fight. A lot of people tell him to shut up and dribble. There's criticism and praise, both warranted and unwarranted, but the one thing you can never deny: when LeBron speaks, everybody listens. And LeBron speaking up is perhaps the biggest reason why all these other NBA players and players across all of pro sports, why they dare to speak up. So LeBron James, he's not just the best player in the NBA, he's not just an NBA champion, an MVP, an all-star, a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's also a player coach, he's a GM, he's the greatest recruiter ever, he owns the greatest sports agency ever, he owns sports teams and will own more sports teams, mark my words. He is a big-time Hollywood star, he is an entrepreneur, but most importantly, he is a philanthropist, an activist for civil rights and social justice. We've never had an athlete like him do all these things at the same time at this grand of a scale. All of the above just speaks to his leadership and his ability to influence millions and millions of people who have voices and people who are voiceless. So what am I trying to say with all of this? I'm just saying LeBron James is the most powerful man in all sports. And the crazy thing is, he's just getting started. Hell, in a few years, you might see President LeBron James. Who knows? Thanks all for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next video. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm obliged to say, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you all, and take care.